Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, and we're here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, AM radio, KLUP, 9:30 a.m. And also we're on Facebook Live. Mark, can you get Lexi in the shot, or is she too low? Okay, you got her. Lexi is here with me, Lexi Law Dog. She's here with me to talk about her legacy. But first I wanted to mention some other things about what to watch out for if someone's has a handwritten will. Okay, so the specific gifts section is something that sometimes people get wrong. So which specific things, tangible personal property, would you leave to specific people? This is considered to be a legacy of personal property. It does not include any contents unless the will directs that. So this is like if you have a cedar chest and you want the cedar chest to go to maybe your daughter. Well, there might be stuff in the cedar chest, and the law doesn't presume that the person you're giving the cedar chest to will receive the contents. You have to specifically say that. And likewise, a devise of real property does not include any personal property located on or associated with the real property, or any contents of personal property located on the real property, unless the will directs that the personal property or contents are included in the devise. So if you want somebody to receive your house, it's not presumed that they would also receive all of the personal property inside. You have to specifically say that. So then let's define the word contents. If you say that I give the contents of my home to so-and-so, contents means tangible personal property other than titled personal property found inside of or on a specifically bequeathed or devised item. The term includes clothing, pictures, furniture, coin collections, and other items of tangible personal property that do not require formal transfer of title and that are located in another item of tangible personal property, such as a cedar chest or other furniture. So I mentioned that titled personal property is not considered to be contents, so let's define titled personal property. It includes all tangible personal property represented by a certificate of title, certificate of ownership, written label, marking, or designation that signifies ownership by a person. The term includes a motor vehicle, motorhome, motorboat, or other similar property that requires a formal transfer of title. Also, you need to do something specific if you want somebody to inherit your intellectual property, like your copyright and trademark, all of that. So the reason that this is important, going back to the reason, will people argue and fight over your family heirlooms? Do you want a trust to be set up so that your pets are taken care of and there's no financial burden put on the caretaker? Do you want to make sure that there is no confusion about whether your spouse has the right to live in the house you occupied together? So you choose your words. Like I said, words, the meaning of words matters. Choose words that effectively convey ownership and title of your assets to take effect upon death so that it's legally enforceable. Do you want to leave a specific distribution to a specific person or to a class of persons like my children, my grandchildren, my nieces and nephews? That's why these words matter. Okay, so another legal principle that comes up when you're leaving a specific property to people is, what if it says in my will that I give my pickup truck to my middle son? What if after I sign that will, I sell that pickup truck and buy a sedan automobile? Does my middle son get the sedan automobile? No, because there's a legal principle called ademption, which means that if I get rid of the property that I've specifically bequested, then he doesn't get it because it's gone. You can't trace the funds from a sold thing to the thing that was bought afterwards. Hopefully that makes sense. And what if you have debts? Are the people that you've designated property to going to get the gift that you've given, or does that property have to be sold to pay your debts? So there's this other legal principle called abatement, where maybe a specific gift is not going to be given because it does have to be sold and the money used to pay debts. So these are all things that you have to work out if you want your will to be legally enforceable, if you want your intentions to be carried out and honored. You got to do it the right way. There's also general gifts, like if you say, I leave everything I have to John, Joe, and Sally equally. Well, that's more of a general gift. Okay, just want to remind everybody I'm celebrating today. This is our 141st unique episode. I've been on the air longer than 141 weeks, but sometimes we run reruns if I go out of town. Christmas is on the weekend this year, so I probably won't have a live episode that day. If you want to weigh in on the episode that I run that day, email me at host@talklawradio.com, or you can post a comment on Facebook, or you can call the radio station right now at 210-308-8867. Let me know what you would like to learn about when you're listening to Talk Law Radio on Christmas weekend. Okay, back to should the will be typed or handwritten? And the reason it matters is because a handwritten will doesn't have to have witnesses, but you do have to use the right words to make a handwritten will legally enforceable. And that's more difficult if you do that on your own with no legal training than if you hire an attorney that focuses on last wills, living trusts, and tax-protected inheritance plans. There are times when we've taken a typed, written internet will to the courthouse, and those wills are not the greatest because you can still make mistakes with an internet will because it's not supervised by an attorney that knows how to make sure that they're going to be legally enforceable. Well, this is the fourth segment, and you know what that means.
And now, it's time for the Talk Law Radio Legacy Spotlight. What's your legacy? Sponsored by Marquardt Law Firm.
So I'm going to be asking Lexi about her legacy today, and she's trying to take a nap, but if I get her favorite treat out, then she'll pay attention to me. Lexi, what's your favorite treat? She loves freeze-dried chicken. That's what she's eating here on the air. Lexi, how do you think that people are going to remember you? Well, if they ask me, it's going to be that she loves treats. She's very easy to train because she loves treats. And at PetSmart, they focus on positive reinforcement, and that's through treats. Some other things that I can tell you about Lexi is she loves to chew bully sticks. She's a chewer, and so she has to have one every morning. And if you don't know what a bully stick looks like, it kind of looks like a cigar. And so I always ask her, are you ready for your cigar? But it's really a bully stick. Another thing that's funny about Lexi is when we take a lot of walks throughout the day. And when we go for a walk, she likes to pick up trash. And she brings it back to the office, and I either throw it away or she chews it up. Something else that's funny about Lexi is she likes to play with the ball, and she'll fetch it one time, and then she likes to play keep away for the rest of the day. She won't bring it back. And I could train her to bring it back, but I really just want her to be who she is. I allow her to be who she is. I don't always like for her to be barking at people that are clients, and so that's why we started the training, so that she would be more friendly to people. And the trainer said that maybe it was because she was nervous, or she didn't want strangers coming into her space. Something else that's funny about Lexi is she will stand on my lap and bite my nose. And when she was a puppy and she had sharp teeth, she would frequently scratch my nose, but she doesn't do that anymore. So what am I going to do with my legacy for Lexi? I'm going to set up a pet trust for her so that I can decide who her caretaker is, and I can decide how much money to set aside for her to make sure that she has a good standard of living if I should depart the earth before I reach old age. Okay, so she's going to go back to sleep because I stopped giving her treats and started talking about the law. That usually puts her to sleep. So in a pet trust, we can name a caregiver and we can name somebody to manage the money. And I like to separate those two things because it's like a checks and balances system. We have somebody who can manage the money, make sure that it's growing, make sure that it's not lost, and we have somebody who can be a great caretaker who's going to make sure that she always goes to her annual appointments and gets her vaccinations, and that she has plenty of bully sticks. They're not cheap. Okay, well, we're wrapping up our show today. Thank you for joining us on Talk Law Radio. Next week, it's probably going to be a recorded episode, so weigh in on that. Email me at host@talklawradio.com. I'll talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.